You save more money ordering groceries online versus going into the store. Let's talk about it. Hello, it's me. I'm Steven Allen. How are you doing today? I think it's true. I have been ordering groceries, or at least in New York City. Maybe in other areas it's different, but in New York City proper, where I am, Manhattan, it is cheaper to order groceries online, specifically from a certain place. Starts with an A. It's a place that rains. I have mentioned the name in a video by accident, but it's fine to mention the name, but they just have so many rules and regulations about like, can't say this, can't say that, do say this, do say that. So I try not to say anything at all about them, but everyone orders from them. You get your stuff. It's convenient. It's easy, but they have really good, like a really good grocery system in place. You might hear my stomach growl. I did eat a little bit of something, but my stomach is growling in all these videos. But anyway, I like ordering online. And then when I'm not ordering online, I do like to go to Whole Foods. Now I've heard that you can go to, what is it called? I was about to say Joe's Crab Shack. It's not that. Trader Joe's. Oh, like Joe's Crab Shack. That's obviously not it, but Trader Joe's. I've never been to Trader Joe's and I want to go there and maybe make a video about it, my experience, but there's always a long line. People say that the long line goes by quickly. I went inside once actually, but I never purchased anything. Maybe I went inside twice. And there was a lot of prepackaged food. And I was like, I don't know what I'm getting. I didn't have a plan in place. I just felt kind of stressed out and I just left. So, Whole Foods, I like their produce and the prices seem like pretty good and decent. I know Whole Foods used to be a lot more expensive than everywhere else, or maybe that was just in the South. I'm from Alabama. But Publix was like, you would go there and their produce was great and their groceries are, good and the store would look very clean and nice and everything. Walmart would have very, inexpensive groceries, but I felt like the quality of some of the, produce and everything, I think it kind of improved. Cause I remember like when everyone started going to Walmart more, it was like kind of, but, I really like products at Walmart, like gadgets and stuff, because you can find good deals there. But for the food and everything, I haven't been there in a long time because Walmart isn't really, I don't think there's one in Manhattan or anywhere nearby. I think there's a Costco, which is not owned by Walmart. Sam's, that's like the same thing. But there's, I think a Costco in Queens or something like that. There's Target. But anyway, I think going online, it's cheaper. And I prefer it because you can kind of budget. You can say, I want to spend $100. I want to spend $50. You incorporate that delivery and the tip, or maybe you go a little bit above for the delivery, the tip, the tax or whatever. But, when you go in person, having a little basket like this, maybe like this, it's going to cost, if you fill it up completely and you're not thinking about where you're just getting stuff, it's going to be like $75 to $100. And then also when you order stuff, you don't have to they deliver it. So you don't have to carry it home if you're in New York and you like walk home. I guess you could put it in a taxi or something, but at that point you're spending money on a taxi, just have it delivered. I just think it's better to order online because you know exactly what you're spending. You can say, okay, I want to get 2 things of bacon, 2 packages of bacon. I want to get 2 boxes of cereal, Jell-O, canned goods, bread, apples, whatever it is. And then you see what the total is at the end, and maybe it comes out to $82. And you're like, do I really need all of this stuff? I want the price to be $75. When you're in the store, now it's easier with self-checkout. But when you're in the store, if you go to a person, they're just ringing it up, ring, 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 ring. And then you're like, I guess I have to pay for this. And it comes out to $200. You don't know what it's going to be. You can kind of guess by the prices and you put it in your cart, but then some of the prices are off. One time I was in the store and there was, a package of chicken. I think it was chicken thighs and it said that it was $12. And I was like, this is a huge package of chicken. I could put that in the freezer, maybe separate it, put it in the freezer, and have that every so often. That's a good deal. And I thought maybe it's not expired, but getting old, and I could just pick that up and freeze it, and it'll be good for at least a year, or forever. Not forever, but like for a long time. And I get to the self-checkout area. It cost, I think, 39 or $40 something dollars when I rang it up. It wasn't $12. It was something per pound that the price they were showing. And they had it in a yellow sticker. And I'm like, that's how they get you. Because if I went to a person and I didn't do the self-checkout, I think they changed it now, but it used to be not that long ago, because I haven't really used a person in a long time, but they would just ring up your stuff and then they wouldn't have a screen. Or maybe they would have a screen, one screen, and they're looking at it as they're bringing it up, and then they turn it around. So you just see the total. And you see like a list on the side, but you can't like, okay. You can, but you just feel kind of like there are people behind me. I need to go. When you're in self-checkout, there's not a line behind you. There's like a line back there, and then you have a bunch of self-checkout areas. So then you feel like you can take your time and you scan and you're like, oh, that's too much. Cause I saw it was like $45. And I was like, the only reason I wanted this is because I thought it was $12. With it being 45 or whatever it was a ridiculous price. I was like, I don't want that. So then you tell a person, boop, you edit the item, delete it, and then the person has to put in their code, boop, 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 Nickelodeon. And then you continue with your groceries. Or maybe you're ringing stuff up. You're like, okay, I've already reached 50. You start ringing things up in the order that you want it. I definitely want the cookies. I definitely want the ice cream. I definitely want the pears. I definitely want the Brussels sprouts. And then you leave the stuff at the end like, well, I do already have rice, and this is a different type of rice. I don't need this because you've already reached your $50 limit. Or you're like, all of this came to 25. That's a good amount. I'll stop there. But when someone's ringing stuff up, how was your day? Oh yeah, the weather's really cold, because they try to distract you. Ringing stuff up, ring. And then I saw a video recently of someone saying that they were at a grocery store. I don't know which one it was, but the person that was ringing them up, they waited until the end before hitting go, and before telling them the total of what it was. She said she ordered 3 items, and she had a debit card, so it had a certain amount of money on it. And she budgeted saying like, okay, my 3 items are under this amount. Maybe she had $50 on her card, and she said, my items are going to come out to being, around 30 something dollars. Cause that's what happens when you do the in-person, the person with you don't know exactly what it is. And then you don't have time to be like, okay, I have 50. But when you're in the self-checkout, you can start ringing like, I definitely want this one. And then if this one comes under the amount that I'm okay with, we'll continue. If not, I'll cancel that one. And you can cancel with a person, but it just feels like a lot, especially if you have a lot of things and then you're just leaving stuff like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. It's just, it can feel, some people, they don't care, but it can feel kind of like awkward. But it's not like necessarily you don't have the money for it. It's just, I don't need it. Cause a lot of times you're like, I don't want to spend over $25. I just want to get a couple of things, a few things. I don't want to spend over $50. I don't want to spend over $75. And then also when you go in the store, you have to carry it to your car or home. And that is taxing on your body. But anyway, this woman said the guy who was checking her out added $100 to her total. So right before she would swipe her card. So I think he did show her the price was maybe $39. And then he was like, credit or debit or whatever you want to do. She said credit or debit, or maybe he said like cash or credit, Apple Pay, whatever. And she said card. So right before she taps or slides her card in or whatever, he switched something, like canceled the final amount, added $100 and went back right before she did it. And I guess she wasn't looking at the screen, or maybe they don't have a screen, so she didn't notice. But her card was declined because she didn't have $139 on her card. She only had, $50 on it, whatever it was on her card. So then she says, hold on a second, my card was declined. I need to like fraud detection was alerted or my card was declined. I know I have enough. I need to check it. And he was like, okay. And she said he got nervous. So then she looked over and she saw on her account that they tried to charge her $139. So then she said, you added $100 to my total because you showed me 30 something dollars was my total. Then you added $100 to, and he acted nervous or weird. Now she just said all of this from her car, and that, she didn't explain what exactly happened after, but she went to her car and she reported him. But that kind of stuff you don't deal with self checkout. But I feel like you're just able to, it goes quicker. You're able to take your time. You're able to see, like, maybe you get 2 items, because I've done that before. You'll get, maybe you want to get grapes and they don't have the prices listed, and they have red grapes and they have green grapes, and you don't know which one is on sale, or maybe one is on sale, or maybe you want to see what both of them, if you got both of them, what that would cost, or if you just got one of them. So you ring both up, you see what the price is, and you're like, oh, that's the cheaper one. I'll just keep that one. And I don't know if that's the way you supposed to do it or not supposed to do it, but there's certain things I like to get in the store, and there's certain things that I like to get online. It's easier to just get everything online. And if you have an issue with anything, like your bananas are smashed or your eggs are cracked, you can just reach out and say like, hey, this was damaged. I need a replacement, or you can get your money back, or you get like a gift card or something like that. But in store, I do kind of like to pick my produce for fruits and vegetables that are going to be outside of, like, Whole Foods has these prepackaged bags of Brussels sprouts, and all of them tend to be the same or good quality. It's called 365. I like everything that's 365 by Whole Foods. Interesting that, what is it called? Great Value by Walmart. I didn't think that was like such a great thing, but a lot of people use that. And I've kind of heard, I haven't used it in so long. I've heard that the quality is good, but I think these store brands are either getting better or they're getting, like, they've gotten lazy. But that's a good thing for us, because I feel like initially store brands, or a while ago, you would get it and the quality would be bad. It wouldn't be great. And maybe Whole Foods was always okay. Whole Foods was always good, but I feel like it's better now. I'm thinking these store brands would make their products and make them cheaper as an alternative to the name brands. But I find that the store brands often taste better, or at least at Whole Foods. I think maybe Whole Foods makes their own store brand, but I've heard that a lot of these store brands, it's just the actual name brand and they just rebrand it. Either it's their leftovers or their mistakes or just their surplus, like their extra food, or maybe they just allocate a certain amount to random store brand names. But I've heard like the Aldi, I think, store brand. I've never been there, but that one is good. I've heard Great Value is good now. 365 by Whole Foods is, I mean, everything I've had 365 by Whole Foods except for one item. It was this like healthy cereal, similar to Fruit Loops, but it had a weird aftertaste. That was the only thing. Their Cheerios alternative was delicious. It was like slightly sweet and really good. Their eggs are great. The produce is great, but I was talking about the prepackaged Brussels sprouts. So I would be okay with ordering that online because it's in a package. They're washed, ready to go. And that's fine. But then sometimes they have Brussels sprouts in this mesh bag. And that you kind of have to look at. You know, if you get apples in a bag or oranges in a bag and the price is cheaper, but you have to look in the bag to see is one bruised, especially the apples, because it'll mess up all the apples. But you have to see, because it's kind of hidden, because they could have it in like a mesh thing so you could easily see, but they have like one side kind of covered up, and then you can see like, oh, they look good, and you get home and it's brown on the other side. The same thing with potatoes. And often the potatoes, they have it like completely covered, and they claim that you want to have potatoes that are covered up, but when they're sitting out, but I guess people take off the top one and get one underneath. It is better for potatoes to be covered, but still, you want to see what you're buying. So, I I wonder what I could Google that, but I was going to say, I wonder what they do with all of the extra produce, because they don't sell everything at the end of the day. And I know it can sit there for a few days. But the people at least in New York City, the fruit cart, food cart, I used to get from, I used to get fruit from a fruit cart, and I used to like to make smoothies a lot. I still like smoothies, but I haven't made them as often. I just freeze the fruit and eat it frozen, and make a smoothie in my mouth. But, I used to get fruit from there, and I had a friend that was saying, do not get fruit from there because they have issues. You can get, I think, like salmonella and like all this other stuff. And I thought, well, the packaging looks the same as what you get in a store. Like the strawberries come in the same thing with the same type of label. But I thought it doesn't make sense to risk it, because if it was vegetables, I'm going to cook it. But fruit, I just freeze it and then smoothie it. Or that's what I was doing in the past. So I stopped doing that. But I would get fruit at the grocery store, and online I was able to get frozen fruit really cheap. And then the prices have gone up and up and up. But it's just easier to put everything in your cart and kind of do this Jenga Lego situation to figure out, okay, if I get this item and do that item, then I can get free shipping with that. And then I can also get that. And then they have deals, and then you look up cereal, because maybe you like Honey Nut Cheerios, which I like. And then maybe you like Fruit Loops, and you type in cereal. You see all the cereals, and then you can see like the family size, the regular size, the large size. This one's on sale. I don't usually get the cereal, but that's on sale. In the large size, that's on sale in the family size. So I guess I'm going to get today some Lucky Charms, and I'll get some Cheerios, but I'll get it in the giant size or in the bag that's super huge. You can have options to think about it. So it's definitely in New York City, not the same price. Every time I've gone into the store, it's been more expensive. It's just sometimes more convenient to go in the store, get your stuff, and go home and get a week of groceries, as opposed to ordering online. Because if I order online, I like to get a month of groceries. And with that, you have to be available when they deliver, and it's often the next day, not the same day, in my experience. In other places, it's different. But the prices are wildly different. I was in Alabama recently, and I wanted to get something from the store, and like some candy. Here in New York, it's like a little bag of gummy candy would be maybe, sometimes it's on sale, sometimes it's not, $3, $4, $6. There was like $1.99. And I was like, what? And not just on sale, but that was the price. And for all of them. And I was thinking, what? That would cost $6 or $7 in New York, because I thought, oh, the prices are so similar now. I also noticed when I went to McDonald's, they wouldn't let me use the deals that I got here. Maybe it was like the particular McDonald's I went to, but they wouldn't let me use the deals I got here in New York in Alabama. And the prices were so different, because when I left Alabama and came to New York, I was like, oh, so I guess chicken nuggets are cheaper now. Maybe their prices went down. And it was like, you're still in Alabama. Change the location to New York. And then it went up. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, everyone knows that the prices are different, but it's kind of shocking. So I think if you have never ordered groceries online, you should check it out, and don't be afraid of like your produce having issues, or like dented cans or exploded boxes of cereal. That will happen because they don't always package stuff correctly. I've had sugar that has exploded all over the box or the bag. Some places I ordered from used to deliver in boxes, and then they delivered in big bags, and then they started delivering in smaller bags. So they were like changing their system and everything. But I used to get, during the panini press, I don't know if you can say the word, but in 2020, I was ordering groceries in boxes. So they would deliver, it would just be like a ton of boxes in front of my door, and I literally couldn't leave. It was like I couldn't egress. So I had to grab the boxes in my apartment. It was just stacks of boxes. And I would spend an hour or two like going through every item to look at the expiration date, to look at if it was damaged, and then put it in my refrigerator, put it in my cabinets. But so much easier than going in the store. But at that time, I didn't feel comfortable going into the store. The day before everything shut down, I went to a bunch of stores and I got as many groceries as I could get because I didn't know because online you couldn't even order stuff. It was like you couldn't have your groceries delivered. Nothing was available. That was when toilet paper wasn't available. I could only find toilet paper at a bodega. And it was expensive. It was like $10 a roll. And I was like, this is ridiculous. That isn't even, I don't think, legal. But they were doing that kind of stuff. But I went to a bunch of different stores and got as much as I can. I think my parents had to send in the mail a box, like a care package, including toilet paper. They got it from Costco, or Sam's, and they had a bunch of stuff. So that's kind of where I learned about the delivering groceries thing. And it's always been kind of a go-to for me. But I think every once in a while, I will go into a regular grocery store and compare prices every single time. It's been so much cheaper to have your groceries, even including delivery, including tax, including a tip. It's still cheaper than getting it in the store. More convenient because you don't have to carry it home. And if there are any issues, you can let them know and they will handle it. So something to look into if you've never done that before. But if you don't want to do it or you need your stuff right now, I like Whole Foods. I've heard other people like Trader Joe's. And if you're in the South, Publix is great. I don't know about everything else. I've never been to Erewhon, so I don't know. But I've heard, different things about different places. Aldi, I've heard stuff about that. I've never been there. I don't know if there's one here. I think I passed by one in Queens at one point. Yeah, not Brooklyn, but Queens. So I don't know. But anyway, hit the plus, hit the star, hit the button, hit the like, do all the stuff. Until next time, I'm Steven Allen. Take a little time to make art and be brilliant. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.